Among Minbari, one individual leads, but we move as one. We are at our best when we move together, and we are at our worst when we move together. When our leader was killed by your people, we went mad together. We stayed mad for a very long time, a madness that almost consumed your world, until finally, before it was too late, we woke up together. The Minbari species from Babylon 5 represents one of the most complex and seemingly paradoxical civilizations in science fiction. With a culture deeply rooted in both spirituality and martial discipline, the Minbari embody a profound duality that defines their society and interactions with other races. On one hand, they are a people of peace and wisdom, guided by ancient traditions, spiritual enlightenment, and a collective pursuit of harmony. On the other, they are fierce warriors, bound by honor, operating under a rigid caste system that often leads to internal and external conflict. This dichotomy creates a fascinating tension within their society, where the pursuit of higher ideals coexists with a readiness for war, and where the lines between faith and aggression, unity and division are razor thin. Of the younger races, the enigmatic Minbari are the oldest. Despite their age and presumed wisdom, the Minbari are not immune to the struggles that arise from the friction between their caste divisions. The Minbari caste system underpins their entire societal structure, consisting of the worker caste, the warrior caste, and the religious caste. The castes themselves are further divided into clans, each with its own leaders and family houses. These clans operate semi-autonomously within the broader caste structure, contributing to the complexity of Minbari society. Though coexisting in relative peace, tensions were known to flare up between the warrior and religious castes, with the worker caste caught in the middle of their conflicts, as the workers held very little power and influence in matters of governance. The differences in the castes also manifested in their physical characteristics. The distinctive bony head ridges of the Minbari are styled differently among the castes, with male and female members of the warrior caste typically adopting a rough, jagged look for their ridges, an appearance that aligns with their martial ethos and desire to appear formidable. In contrast, the religious caste prefers smoother, more rounded and elegant ridge styles, symbolizing their pursuit of enlightenment and spiritual harmony. These physical differences in ridge styling serve as a visual representation of the ideological and philosophical distinctions between these two castes. In ancient times, Minbar was plagued by civil wars, fueled by caste rivalries and factional violence, leading to Minbari turning against their own. Despite this internal strife, their society remained remarkably stable, allowing it to endure and even thrive amidst the turmoil. One distinctive aspect of the Minbari that likely contributed to this enduring stability, despite this fractured civilization, was its deep-rooted belief in the responsibility of leaders to their people, with a strong emphasis on ensuring that those in power were not shielded from the consequences of their own decisions. Minbari leaders were expected to lead by example, bearing the weight of their choices alongside their people, which fostered a sense of shared duty and resilience. This disciplined approach ensured that despite the violent caste rivalries and factional strife that threatened to tear their civilization apart, the Minbari could still operate a functioning and enduring society. This stability allowed the Minbari to unite with other races and engage in interstellar war against the ancient and formidable Shadows. The emergence of the Shadows and the rise of Valen as the leader of the Minbari marked a pivotal turning point in their society. Valen, one of the most influential figures in Minbari history, instituted sweeping reforms that transformed their civilization. Valen's primary goal was to unite the Minbari people and bring an end to the destructive civil wars and internal conflicts that had plagued their society for centuries. Central to his efforts was the creation of the Grey Council, a governing body that provided equal representation and power to all three castes: worker, warrior, and religious. Notably, as the first chosen one and leader of the council, Valen established the precedent that the chosen leader would remain independent of the castes themselves. The Minbari present an intriguing paradox. Their society is built on distinct groups with significant ideological and philosophical differences. Yet with a leader independent of these agendas and focused on the greater good for all Minbari, they experienced prosperity. One of Valen's most significant contributions was the enactment of the supreme law that forbade any Minbari from killing another, a decree that would become a cornerstone of Minbari society. To further ensure peace and stability, Valen redefined the role of the warrior caste, tasking them with defending Minbar against external threats, rather than engaging in internal strife. Through these reforms, Valen not only unified the Minbari, but also laid the foundation for a more enlightened and peaceful era, grounded in the principles of unity, wisdom, and diplomacy. However, this peace was shattered when first contact between the Minbari and the humans of the Earth Alliance turned tragic and violent. When the Minbari encountered several Earth ships, they adhered to their tradition of opening their gun ports as a sign of transparency and respect. Unfortunately, the Earth Alliance misinterpreted this custom as an act of aggression, leading them to open fire. In the ensuing chaos, the Minbari's beloved leader, Dukat, was tragically killed. United in their unbridled rage and grief, the Minbari declared all-out war against the technologically inferior humans. The Minbari are at their best when they move together, and at their worst when they move together. Their united and focused rage against humanity nearly led to their extinction, but before it was too late, the Minbari collectively awakened to the madness that had consumed them. Although this unity might suggest a society that rises or falls together, over time, internal conflicts became too much for their divisive civilization to handle. As the threat of a new shadow war loomed, and a new cycle of violence appeared on the horizon, the internal strains within Minbari society grew increasingly severe. The differences between the warrior and religious castes became too great, eventually leading to a new civil war, reverting back to their old ways before Valen's reforms. Delen, the Minbari ambassador to Babylon 5, recognized the fundamental problem at the heart of their civilization. The old ways, which were established to maintain balance among the three castes, had ultimately failed. The three factions were never able to achieve true balance or harmony, as the dominant warrior and religious castes continued to neglect the worker caste. In response, Delen reformed the Grey Council, restructuring it to include 2 members each from the warrior and religious castes, and 5 members from the worker caste, giving them the majority. This change acknowledged the workers as the true foundation of their society, those who toiled tirelessly and were often neglected in governmental matters. Under this new structure, the warrior and religious castes, with their constant infighting, would now exist to serve the people, a focus that would once again unite the Minbari and work toward the future prosperity of all their people, regardless of caste. But I'm curious to know what you think about the seemingly paradoxical nature of the Minbari government. Are there any aspects of their divided society or moments in their history that stand out to you? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Babylon 5 and other sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. And if you're looking for other ways to show your appreciation, you can check out my Patreon page, where members get access to exclusive content and perks. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.